Breaking news, you promised us the Ryanair results. They're in, are they?
Yeah, we got them in the last hour, Kate, Roberts. They said they made a profit for the 3 months ending the 30th of June of €123 million. It's about 108, 109 million pounds, which is obviously pretty good when you consider what else is going on in the industry. However, they said it's mainly due to the fact they spent 150 million less euros, or fewer euros, on fuel this time round than they did last year. Last year they'd locked in some pretty expensive rates for their fuel, so that's has helped them no end in the first quarter of this year. Now, later today we're going to be talking about home equity withdrawal. The industry body Safe Home Income Plans launches a report that will examine issues around equity release from your home. There are concerns that this type of borrowing is becoming increasingly popular due to credit restrictions elsewhere, and the money release being used as an expensive way to finance lifestyles. Alison Shipton, for example, took out an equity release loan to pay for her daughter's wedding.
My daughter was going to be married, and as the date loomed, I realised it was going to cost rather more than I'd thought. So I saw the advertisement in my daily paper. Of course, having struggled over the years on my own to keep the house going, I didn't want to lose it or to end up owing more money. I found the scheme worked very well for me. It gave my daughter a lovely wedding, and of course for the future I feel I gave her that lovely send-off, and now she's her husband's responsibility.
Well, David Braithwaite, an independent financial advisor from Citrus Financial Management. David, what's wrong with that? Is that some of the things they're going to be looking at in this paper?
There's a lot of things they looked at in the paper. There's nothing actually wrong with what she's done. I think the problem comes when people do equity release where maybe the children don't know that they've done it, and it only comes to light when that person has actually died, unfortunately, and the children can then get quite upset because they realise that the parents have done something that they could have maybe helped them out with.
OK, what are the right situations? When does equity release work well? When's it a good idea?
I think when you haven't got dependents, or when you haven't got dependents that maybe can help fund for you. But in the main, they can be done properly, and they can be done very well and very useful for most people. But you've just got to be very, very careful in that you don't get yourself into something you don't understand. And that's been the criticism that a lot of these schemes have had before, where people just don't simply understand what they're getting themselves into.
Now, a lot of people look to their home to provide them, if you like, in their old age. If you keep nibbling away at it through equity withdrawal, you can be left with nothing left when the time comes and you actually do need it.
You could be, and luckily there's a lot of safeguards put in, and Safe Home Income Plans are one of the peoples that have actually brought this sort of thing in. There's a lot of safeguards now to make sure that you can stay in your properties, no negative equity, and you shouldn't get to the point where there's nothing left. But if their interest rates that charged were quite high, that could potentially happen, but it's very, very unlikely.
If you take out equity, does it make sense that you're increasing the amount of debt in your property? And is that a good idea, maybe, because interest rates are so low?
You could do, and there's an argument for tax mitigation here as well, because if you haven't got so much in terms of property or profit, sorry, from the actual property...
So you could lower your capital gains tax bill?
Not the capital gains tax, the inheritance tax bill,
Okay.
because there's a debt to repay before you then sell the property. And for somebody like her, if she wants to see her daughter get married, there's every good reason for someone like her. She's gone into it, knows exactly what she went into, and can see the daughter get married. She's quite happy.
Take advice before you go through with it?
Always, always take advice. It's a very dodgy area. If you're not sure, make sure you take more and more advice and speak to lots of people that know what they're doing.
OK, David, thank you very much indeed. David Braithwaite there from Citrus Financial Management. Back to you two.